under someone or something, you know. So,
yeah, that makes. Did anything persuade you to become agnostic, or did you find this on your own?
I kind of just found it on my own. Yeah, my parents never had a religion. I never went to church. But my mom and my dad are like the same. Like we believe we're here for a reason. There's a God, but we don't go practice a religion.
Yeah. So your parents had no influence on it?
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
All right. Whoever is next can take it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Have you ever believed in a God?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever believed in a God?
Yeah, I believe there's a God. I always believed there was. Mm-hmm. There's for sure a God, I think, personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think happens after we die?
That's a tough question. I think there's something. I mean, if there was something before we got here, then there's something definitely after we leave this place, So, I mean, you were somewhere before you were born, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I like it. Through different studies, agnostic people say that they believe that man was created through random atoms colliding together. Do you believe this is true?
Partially. I don't have like a set theory I believe in. Like the Big Bang Theory. I mean, that's one of the biggest ones that's like scientific. But I mean, I'd like to believe there's something else other than just science that we're, random science happened and we just all spawned here. That's hard to believe, kind of.
Okay. Would you say that just because we can't see something with our eyes, that does not mean that it doesn't exist?
If we can't see with
So
no.
like gravity. Like you can't see gravity, you can't see wind.
Right.
Yeah, like air. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like do you believe that there's something else that we can't see?
I believe so. Yeah. You could talk about ghosts. I mean, even something spiritual, definitely in the air, literally.
Yeah. All right, Nick.
All right. Do you agree that an open-minded person should be willing to look at all the evidence? If so, then are you willing to look at the evidence for God's existence?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, I don't think one thing is right. I think having an open mind, especially in this topic, is pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many possibilities. There's so many theories. So, you can't be set on one, no matter what kind of person you are, no matter where you were raised.
Yeah. Had God ever played a role in your life?
I mean, probably. I'm not the kind of person to pray, but I mean, I want to say like every day of my life, probably, but not directly. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get that. And have you ever had an encounter with a Christian?
In like an argument or like just any case?
Just like necessarily coming across a Christian and just striking a conversation with one.
About being agnostic in religion?
Yeah, just a religious-based conversation with a Christian.
Not necessarily. I'm usually I necessarily don't like to talk about it,
Okay.
Here I am doing this interview, but I mean, I just, people have their beliefs and I respect them. But I mean, I've never really had an argument or a debate or any really conversation about religion with a Christian. So, but I have friends who are Christians,
Yeah.
Everyone has their own stride.
Okay. Here, let me click off the screen for a second real quick. Do you believe other religions are completely wrong? If so, why?
I don't want to say they're wrong, but I can respectfully disagree that some things can be pressured in religion on people when they be a little too much. I think Muslims, nothing against Muslims, but I think they pray like 5 times a day, every day or something like that. I could be wrong. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of pressure with religion, especially with like cultures and stuff like that. but I can respectfully disagree with some stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And last question from me. Do you lean towards one religion that might be true? Like, necessarily in another sense, like any other religions, do you believe that any of those religions could possibly be true?
I want to say no.
Okay.
I don't think there's one that's right. I think there's many for a reason. I mean, it's tough to say that, you know, especially where you grew up, like what your culture is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your people's opinions are so different on what's right and what's wrong. So I can't say one's right. I can't say I agree with one more than another, but I can definitely say I disagree with one more than another, I guess.
Okay.
All right, now I got my vibe. So would you say that you take kind of bits and pieces of different, like, would you take bits and pieces of different religions and kind of make sense out of it, or you just kind of have your own belief and that is what you believe in? Like, you wouldn't take, maybe you take something from a Buddhist and a Christian and kind of combine that.
I could say so, yeah. Hey, if you could take bits and pieces of a bunch of religions, or pieces that I agree with, and put them in a pot and stir it, and not have a label behind it, I would agree with that. Exactly.
Okay.
Stir up the pot.
I got you.
Someone's cooking in the kitchen.
Have you ever considered becoming a certain religion? Like, is there anything that you've ever thought about, through your childhood or whatever, that you kind of lean towards?
No one in my family has really any religious background, so
There was nothing you really leaned to.
no
You just
no
kinda-
pressure. Yeah, didn't lean towards anything, honestly.
Okay. Do you believe that there's a certain religion to you that makes the most sense?
You know, I'm not like I don't know too much about every religion,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, there's principles of Buddhism that are sweet that I agree with. You know, there's also stuff I disagree with. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Mm.
It is.
Absolutely. Do you believe we can't know anything for sure, or do you believe that with enough evidence and background to it, we can believe in a certain religion? Like, there's something that we can pinpoint.
I think we could pinpoint on something.
So with enough, you would say with enough evidence that you can definitely pinpoint a religion that makes sense if we have evidence to prove it.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
All right. And then my last question for you: is it possible that we could know for sure that God exists if we do have enough evidence? Like, just like the question before, if we had pinpointed enough evidence that God does truly exist and He created the world, could we convince you of that?
Yeah, I mean, I could be totally convinced that there's a God. You know, I believe in a God, in a higher power, just no structure.
I got you.
So,
That's fair.
I mean, dude, it's tough to say what kind of evidence can be provided to convince someone there's a God.
Mhm.
You know, whether or not they believe in a God or not. You know.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's all the questions we have for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for the time that you put out of your day in order to get this interview done, and it's definitely going to be a great thing for our teacher to see. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's my community service for the day. So just gotta do my part, man. Help some people out. You know.
Absolutely, bro. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Any last questions, guys? All good.
All good here, man.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you.
You too. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.